and for those that are interested and couldn't make the meeting. And you're welcome to have your cameras on or off as you are most comfortable. And also, if you would like to ask questions, you can just press the hand and we questions like that, or you can write in the chat. So welcome to the info event for the Dance and Choreography program in Holstebro. My name is Tiziana and I'm the head of program and campus leader. And then I thought maybe the others that are connected to the school can shortly introduce yourselves. Tina.
I am Tina, and I am the education coordinator here at the Holstebro campus.
My name is Gustav, and I'm a third-year student here in Holstebro.
And I am Nikki, and I'm a second-year student here in Holstebro.
And maybe where you're from?
I'm from Denmark.
And I'm from Greece.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we'll begin. This information meeting is because we are having an admission, and this is for intake in August of 2026. And yeah, just a little bit of information I will give about the program, the education, and then hand it over to Nikki and Gustav to give a bit of a student perspective and what it is to study in the program in Holstebro. And then we can answer any questions. You're also welcome to, during, just put up your hand or write in the chat, and we'll take it a little back and forth. So to give you a little bit of context, in the Danish School of Performing Arts, we have two dance programs, one in Holstebro and one in Copenhagen. And Copenhagen just had an intake, and they will have one group of students that will run for 3 years. And in Holstebro, we have 2-year groups at a time. So the next intake is for August 2026, and then again the following year. And just to talk briefly about the two programs. Welcome. Just so you know, for you who have just entered, we're recording this meeting, and you're welcome to have your camera on or off as you are comfortable. So I was speaking about the two programs. So this is also to meet the need in Denmark, having two programs that share the curriculum, but we have slightly different profiles. In Copenhagen, it's more geared towards the dance maker. And Holstebro, it's more geared towards the performer or dancer. That is not to say that you couldn't be either or. It can be very well that someone enters Holstebro and they have a vision of being a dancer or performer, and when they graduate, they feel they're more inclined to being dance maker and vice versa. So we share a curriculum with slightly different profiles. We call it BA in Dance and Choreography because of their entangled relationship. So not looking at dance as a separate thing and choreography as a separate thing, but that they are intertwined. And when you're dealing with dance, you're dealing with choreography. When you're dealing with choreography, you're dealing with dance. And it's also a way to take away presumptions of the choreographer being the thinker, the one that is proposing, and the dancer being the doer. That in both there is the thinking and the doing. it's also designed in a way to take away the hierarchy between choreographer and dancer, that there is this collaborative element. So that's a little bit about dance and choreography, and we meet at the intersection. I'm gonna just click there. Oops. Then I'd like to share the study plan to give you a little bit more about the program. So I need to share here. So here I'm sharing this is the subject structure from the curriculum. And just to explain shortly, on this side, you have the different subjects. And then here you have the ECTS points. So in a 3-year education, it's 180 ECTS points. And each semester, as you see here, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth semester, there are 30 ECTS points within each. The first one, dance body movement, takes up the majority of the program. And dance body movement is a way to describe a way of encompassing all techniques. So it's not just ballet and 5 ECTS points for ballet, and then improvisation, 2 ECTS points for improvisation. It's a way to encompass all techniques. And also to give space for a variety of techniques. In Holstebro, we focus on a more consistent technical training in that the students will have a morning class which is quite regular throughout the semester, different class each day, for example, ballet 2 or 3 times a week, and then Cunningham or release or floor technique. So there's a way to keep a regularity of technical development. But dance body movement can also be improvisation. It can be somatic techniques like Feldenkrais, or more practice-based techniques where a teacher will bring in a body of knowledge and work through the fundaments and technical capacities through their practice. There can also be times house as a form. It's rare, but it is possible. And on this note, I should say that it's also very much about the individual group, that students can put forward their intentions and desires, a want for more somatic work or more technical work. And then we find a way to incorporate this. So it's not, it can look different from group to group or semester to semester. And this is a way to be flexible within the curriculum, to stick to the curriculum, but it gives some flexibility in how we can provide these technical possibilities. The next subject is choreography, and now you can see they're separate modules, which is a little bit in contradiction to what I was saying about this intersection where dance and choreography meet, but it is a way to describe these modules and to ensure that we are meeting the requirements for this kind of knowledge. So sometimes it can be very clear that you're working with choreography, where you will learn a very specific piece of repertoire and you learn to execute that material. It can also be that you're getting compositional tools that are very directly related to choreography. And other times it can be that a teacher could fit in both DBM, dance body movement, or choreography. So it's, yeah, we don't want to separate them too much, but we still have them as separate modules. Then we have every year in the second semester, the fourth semester, and the fifth semester. And this is usually a project with a professional choreographer from the field, a choreographer who's currently working in the field. And the project can span between 6 to 8 weeks, where the students work towards presenting a performance for an audience. Then you can see here bachelor projects. That falls in the fourth semester under artistic research, and in the fifth semester as a bachelor project. And this is where the students get to work independently, collaboratively, or collectively towards their own individual area of interest. So they worked with some research questions that they're interested in, and they get mentoring and supervision towards presenting their own projects. I have notes just so that I can keep on track. So if you see me looking down and thinking, that's kind of what I'm doing. Feel free to ask questions at any moment. Then the next module is contextualization, which is 12 ECTS points, and that can be dance history or philosophy or pedagogy, or it's putting the subject in a larger context. And it can be very subject related, or it could be brushing up on other artistic fields, neighboring fields. And then you can see artistic research, which falls, it's the project just before the bachelor project, so a way to prepare the student for the bachelor project. And then the last module is entrepreneurship, which is preparing the student for entering the professional field, mapping themselves in relation to their desires and how they can start to introduce themselves and prepare for life as a dance artist. Don't think there is anything more there unless anyone has some questions. This might look different for you, Gustav and Nikki, because this is from the 2025 curricula. You are working on the 2023. Then I will stop sharing. To explain a little bit about the faculty. So for those of you that have just joined, I'm Tiziana, head of program. I'm also teaching in the program, and together with myself are two other faculty teachers, Tulke and Heli. And the three of us together with Tina, we kind of hold the program together. And then we invite, as I said, in Holstebro, we have, which is different to Copenhagen, as far as I understand, that we have these more regular technique classes so that we can really focus on technical development. Saying that, we also bear in mind the individual within the collective, that each student comes with their own skill set, experience, interests, and we do our best to, even within technique classes, to give space for the individual student. Of course, having the expectation that we're constantly nurturing and meeting what is out there in the field, but within an individual. So we have regular teachers that come in to do these technique classes, and then we have many teachers that we bring in from many parts of Europe and also outside of Europe. Guest teachers whose body of knowledge and practices, artistic practices, choreographic approaches, and experience we value greatly. And these teachers come in at least once or twice a semester. So there's the three of us as faculty, there's the regular technique teachers, and then there are the regular guest teachers that come in once or twice a semester so that the students get to deepen and expand that body of knowledge. And then there are the teachers that will come in maybe once in the whole education with something very specific. So that is how we design the faculty and the teaching. I think that is it from me. Then I'd like to hand it over to you, Nick and Gustav, to speak a little bit about maybe like the classes that you meet, like how a day is designed, and then a little bit about student perspective in the program and in Holstebro.
Okay,
Go.
I'll begin.
Sorry, and maybe you just want to introduce yourselves again to
Okay,
any that have just joined.
Yeah. My name is Gustav. I am a third-year student and I come from Denmark.
And my name is Nikki. I'm a second-year student and I come from Greece.
So, a day in the life of a student here in Holstebro is, well, our day goes from 9 until 17:30 every day. So it's a bit of a long day, but full of rich content. We start with this morning class, which is where we have our like regular technique classes, which is at the moment ballet and Cunningham and something called body weather, which is like a circle training coming from Buto style. And we also have some more floor work inspired. So that's like the things that come again all the time. And then our second morning class, and then wait. 9 until 10:30. That's our like morning class. And then we have
break.
But maybe I don't know. Maybe, yeah. But anyway, our second morning class afterwards is also around like 1.5 hours, which is usually a guest teacher. Like then we have because we are 2-year groups, then we have like 2 guest teachers at a time here, and then like one group has the one in the before lunch, and the other group has the teacher after lunch, and vice versa, the following week sometimes, and it really depends on which content needs to be there. And then the second morning class is usually more focused on dance body movement and more a teacher's physical approach to dance and their body work. And the afternoon is more place for more workshop-based investigations and laboratories, which is usually where you have the choreography modules and the entrepreneurship modules and contextualization modules. But it can also be dance body movement in the afternoons. Yeah. Anything to add?
Well, the guest teachers, like, there are many guest teachers coming. Like, there's some more like body-based, dance-based, based on a technique. Otherwise, other ones are like working more with the voice. There's some people that come and they're more like partner work-based work. So, like, it's different every week, I would say.
Very.
What else should we say? Should we talk about?
I think I also thought about that, for instance, with dance body movement. It could be that a teacher knows, like, has done a lot of flying low, and then they come and teach us flying low. Or it could be a teacher that has developed a sort of their own practice through their work and career, and then comes and shows that. And it can also like and choreography can also be this, like, you are learning rep from a specific piece, or it could also be that you're then making you're being involved into the practice of this choreographic practice, and therefore in like developing your own choreography through that. And yeah, and then the afternoon, because the first morning class and the second morning class are kind of like the same size, and then the afternoon is a 4-hour block, which then also leaves space for the guest teacher to kind of structure their time as they see fit best. Yeah, and there's a break in there at some point where you find that. Yeah. That's kind of like a day. And then on the Wednesdays, we have a Wednesday meeting where we are meeting together the whole campus to talk about different stuff.
Practical stuff.
Yeah, kitchen stuff. Dukes, which is this thing. There's a couple or 4 people that are always taking care of the space, like the kitchen, the dishwasher, stuff like that.
And we have training 2 days of the week for half an hour, where we work individually on strengthening.
We get this training program from our physiotherapist that is connected to our school that we can do. And then on Thursdays, usually we have our own class meetings.
Cake of the week?
Yes. It's become a tradition here that for the class meetings we have cake. And that's like each group has their own class meeting to discuss things. I feel like it's such a great democratic structure with with this, like, that we then gather in our group and collect our opinions, and we bring that to the Wednesday meeting, and so to say it's not at all that, like, holy and formalized, none whatsoever, but just to say that we also have quite a say in this education. And for sure it's also an education and a campus that is still in rooting. I was the first group here. That has been a lot of rooting, but we're still also like figuring out how to do this program. So it's very exciting to be a part of. And yeah. More about the program?
There's also the possibility to, like, because once every semester we have a meeting with Tiziana, like each group individually, and there we make an agenda where we talk about more like stuff about the education that we would like, or like we can make a wish list with guest teachers that we would like to have, and if it's possible, then we bring that forward.
Yeah, it's really like there's a high priority on dialogue
Mhm.
and structured development, that we all get like heard and stuff like that. And I because it's kind of like this, like the balance between like a very established institution and like individual interests, which is, and the collective as we are and as a whole, which is very good, so that we don't just walk around like becoming this separate thing, that we're just students in a school, but we're like students a part of the school.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was thinking about Holstebro.
Yep. Um.
I was happily surprised. What can I say? A personal experience. Um,
Oh, can I?
yes, go
I would
first.
say that it's quite like it's a quiet city. Like there's a lot of nature, but throughout the year there are a lot of cultural stuff happening, and we get invited from the municipality to like organize something and present something, which is um, like we the students gather and we talk about it and we make something and then we present and then we get invited to like the after parties or we get lunch or stuff like that. So there's a lot of um, connection with the people of the city. There's some theaters here. There's the Holstebro Dance Company, which invites us in their like performances or like their showings, or if they have some residencies, they also invite us. And there's the how do you
Nordic Theatre Lab.
yes, which also has like a black box and space, and we can always like talk to them, ask the students, and make something.
Yeah, and I think like there is like it becomes quite what's it called, connected, like in a very I find nice way, because it's not such a what do you say? I feel like there is not this like everybody wants this and everybody wants this and everybody wants like there is more space for us, and also because we have a school that is a school day that is like from 9 to 17:30 every day, when kind of when you're done you also sometimes just want to go home and sleep, or maybe cook food, uh, but this like that the connections become for me a bit more like down to earth, because they're actually here. And during my last 2 years it has been a lot of like finding these people, but I really feel like that now something has really been established, and I'm quite excited to see where it also goes, because we when I was here we were the first year group. We were 12 started, and then there was a music conservatory who also started, but they were a bit reluctant on this like hospital lifestyle. But then our second year group came, and then also a second year group at the music conservatory. And then all of a sudden a group chat was started, and connecting us together. And then now another year group at the music conservatory has come, so now there's even more. And then they also opened up a sound lab education in Struer, which is 30 minutes north of here. So now there is also a collective of like with them in it as well. So it is becoming this like body of mass that we can all pull and talk art together with. And there's, as you say, so many people in town that are so happy to be involved and give space, because there's such a huge prioritization of culture in this town with different centers of culture. There's something called Sakariet, which is like a more established center of art, like an art culture, where you can use their spaces if you have a reason for it. And then there is also a new part of the city called Sygehusgrunden, which means like hospital grounds, which is the old hospital in town, that is really in their establishing phase, that are super interested in how to bring in young people and stuff like that. So for me, I see a lot of great things in this environment. And I'm also super happy that I live in this house together with my friends from school and from the conservatoire, because I feel like that's not something that is so easy to find in a bigger city, like a house that is affordable to rent and where I have a garden and vegetables and stuff like that. And there is this activity house next to where we are right now, where some of us do ceramics.
Oh yeah.
And then we sometimes rent cars to go to the ocean.
There's a swimming pool.
Yes, where we go to sauna.
Yes, there's a running club. Some of us are in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great secondhand stores here.
I went shepherding with sheeps on the heath sometimes, because they're right out here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's yeah, alive out here.
And sometimes it's not, like when you have such a busy schedule, like from 9 to 5:30, then you kind of want the peacefulness of a smaller city and not the hustle of a bigger city. Like I really appreciate the fact that I can go out, take my bag, and go like to the forest and to the river and just relax and have picnics. Yeah.
And then Aarhus is 2 hours away in train, where we've sometimes done like weekend trips. And Copenhagen is 4 hours away also. And there's a network in the school and a network in us, and for like different things and tips and tricks and for Denmark and all that stuff. Yeah. Should we do more?
I think that's great. I'm sure if there are any questions, then you're welcome to write them or ask them. And then Gustav and Nikki can answer those. Thank you so much.
There's one question in the chat.
Yeah, I will get to the admission in a moment. I just wanted to add to what you were saying, that even though it is a new campus, and it is very important for me that the students who are living their daily life here can contribute, because I don't want that we are just designing the foundational spaces, that the students can be involved in that. And they have been very kind and patient and giving a lot of great inputs and feedbacks to make it a really cozy space. But I also wanted to be clear that we have a curriculum. We are very have in mind the quality of the education. And I also come from the Copenhagen dance and choreography program, where I was a faculty teacher for 9 years while we were accrediting the program into a bachelor program. So I do bring in this established program that is then able to take inputs, just so that it's clear that the program is in place. It's more where we actually have our campus that is a little bit in its foundational places. I would like to get to the admission, the enrollment. I believe all of this is now online with regards to the admission process and the requirement for enrollment. I'm imagining that means like admission criteria, or what skills does this applicant need to have? Do I understand that right? Yes. Then I will share. Oh, one moment. Why will it not? Not. Some reason I cannot scroll down to share the admission criteria with you. Maybe I need to close this window. Just give me a second. Maybe no. Do you see now okay. So in this, in the application, you'll see something where it speaks about admission criteria, and this is directly from the curriculum, and this is how we interpret what we look for in an applicant. So this curiosity to explore the subject area within the framework of the program, motivation to engage in complex and collective artistic processes and learning environments, ability to articulate your artistic practice, clarity in understanding and executing movement, ability to improvise and to perform, ability to work with concentration and to incorporate feedback, and then communicative and collaborative skills. And as it says, then an applicant need not necessarily possess all the qualities mentioned above. So this is really the criteria for what we look for in a student. If I stop sharing, then I should do that. Does that answer your question?
I mean, Gustav was also part of the intake process for Nikki's year. I don't know if you have anything to add with the requirements for enrollment, Gustav, from like a student perspective.
Well, like what we look at is what was just mentioned, and there is a really good what's it called, opportunity to experience that as a or like as from the intake perspective, but also for possible applicants in like the way to show that, because the audition is structured in a way, if I understand it correctly, with a 3 days.
Yes, so it is a 3-day audition, and those that come into the second round from the video auditions stay all 3 days. So it's really an opportunity to see the applicants in all contexts. So it's not like we're looking for this kind of technique and then that's that. It's really the complexity and nuances of craft.
Yeah, and
But of course, we do have like ballet classes, for example. It's not necessarily that someone needs to come in with extensive experience or knowledge having done ballet, for example, but that there is this curiosity to understand the functionality of the body and
There's
to be able to work without getting injured. So there is some foundational technical capacity that we can then build on.
and there's also like there's also something about like the way to create the next group in this, like the what is more this like the collaborative skill and communicative skill, but also this like, is it a group where you get a little bit of everything sometimes, or not to say that that's a goal, but you are definitely not required to have a specific style or that everybody is the same in a group, because like that's something that I and you also do like really appreciate, is the amount of versatility in movement that we have, so that we really learn from each other. And it always becomes like movement of things.
And something that I really appreciated from the audition days is the fact that when I came to the audition, I didn't have a number. Like the teachers knew my name. Like we had sent picture of us, and the teachers had learned our names, and they were calling us by our names and not by numbers. And yeah, it created another atmosphere for me. I remember in those days that there was also a work done by the teachers to, like, they were curious to see who I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And just to show what the second audition holds is technical exercises, improvisational tasks, compositional tasks, group work, and an individual interview. So we really do see everybody in a variety of contexts, and also acknowledging what a big effort it is to come for 3 days. It's not only our time, it's also the applicants' time and energy put into these 3 days. So it is also important to us, whether somebody gets into the program or not, that they get something out of the experience, and that it's meaningful. I hope that answered your question about enrollment. Do you get individual studio time so you can practice by yourself outside of classes? The studios, we are very fortunate, are available 24/7. So from 9 to 5:30, the schedule is set for the students, but after that, the students can use the studios as they wish. They can book through Tina and our Asimut system, and then they can have that space to use as they wish. Does it require any specific education from high school? Can you answer that question, Tina, please?
I can. We don't have a specific requirement for education completed. This is to allow that people from all walks of life can apply to our school. The only requirement we have here is that you have to have you have to be able to understand and express yourself in English. And that can look in many different ways. We don't ask for any sort of proof that you have graduated a certain level of English. But that is something that if there is any doubt, that might be an exam we could look at, but I have not experienced that yet, that we have asked for any sort of proof of English level.
Bed. The dogs joined as well. I don't see any further questions. Do the students typically live together? I'll leave that for the two of you.
Okay, first of all, there is something here, like it's very easy to find accommodation for yourself here. I think they have this like guarantee, like if you're a student in Holstebro, you will you have like you will get a space. And for sure it's also kind of the easiest or the cheapest maybe is these like student accommodations where you share a kitchen, but you do have this like your own bathroom and your
you have your own, you have your own small kitchen, but there's also like a bigger kitchen.
So it's like a little studio apartment.
Yeah.
But there is some of us that have found together, and that's also something that you definitely do during the years. Like sometimes also nice to kind of move here and be like, okay, let's see, and then like figure out if there's somebody that you're interested in moving in together with. That's a but no, I wouldn't say like typically, no. But also like we want to prioritize that we the established things that we have done over the years will be given will be passed on in this like our connections to figuring out where to like what's a nice place to live, where's the closest supermarket, where do you get the nice bread in the morning, stuff like that. And because that was something that we went through these like the first half a year where being like everybody kind of just like popping into this town and then figuring out okay this is how the land is, and then stuff like that. And that's definitely something that we'll prioritize with the next group also, to be like okay, I see this apartment that's available, that kind of stuff. Or spots gets available because I'm not there anymore.
Thank you. What age are most of the students? That can really vary. I think the youngest right now is around 17, 18 to, I mean, from my experience also in Copenhagen, until maybe 29 or more. Following the fingers.
I can say with certainty, the youngest is 20.
No.
Oh, sorry. The youngest is 19.
Yeah.
And the oldest is 26.
And saying that we don't have a restriction on age.
No.
And it is also about the group composition to keep that in mind as well. Yeah, because most of the teaching is collective, so it is that how you are together in a space. Yeah. That maybe the applicant wants to I know you can't because you wouldn't know actually. But so there is no age restriction. Can you go on exchange in other countries? Yes, we are part of the Erasmus exchange, and that is a possibility in the education for a semester. And yeah, there's also the possibility, which is not part of the curriculum, but to have internships. We've set up a collaboration with Danish Dance Theatre, where both Gustav, you went on an internship, but that is something we set up. It's also been done with Holstebro Dance Company. With these two companies, it's a collaboration that we have. but it's not part of the curriculum. And then it is the students' initiative. Yeah. The scope of admissions decisions sounds very broad. Where should we focus on? I mean, that's a fair question, and it's broad, it's deliberately broad so that we can make space for diversity. And I mean, so much is learned through peers, through what the students bring in and how they share working ways of working and cultures and experiences. So it's deliberately varied and broad. I think I would just say to bring your best self forward and trust in that, and if it's the right place. Yeah, it's not like we're looking and this is also, I think, something I appreciate so much also when I see, like right now, the second years just did their own solo works, where they worked on their own for 2 weeks and they presented in an informal way their solos, and they were all so different. And I think there's no carbon cutouts where everybody's, yeah, the same. But of course, there is an expectation of a foundational bodily capacity that you can come in and begin working. Yeah. I think I can see someone is writing, but I think we've answered all those. How many students are there in one class? That's varied. We are looking between 14 to 18, I would say.
I also want to add that we also take exchange students from other schools. So you can also experience students coming in for a semester from other schools around Europe or outside of Europe.
Yep.
I wanted to say that I don't know if there is more like student life related questions. You can also reach out to us whenever you want, or like stuff like that. But yeah, find us on the web page, right? We're on the web page. We are. Yeah, we are. Yeah. If it's needed. Yeah.
Thank you, Gustav and Nikki. Is it considered highly competitive to get into the school? I mean, I don't really know how to answer that question because there is a demand in the field which is very varied as well, depending on where you kind of putting your sights after you graduate. But I would say maybe it's better for you to answer. See, you've got your hand up. I think that would.
I want to say that. Do you want to say that?
You say it then.
What I wanted to say was that I did not feel any competitive atmosphere in the audition, at least. It was definitely a nervous experience and quite but so enriching and valuable in itself. and because you also have these days, like the first day, poof, yeah, that's like get to work, and then but then you kind of you fall into the phases and you get more. So I no, I wouldn't say that, and like not at all in the school, like very very important for us to not have that, um, and for something to do with like the field and school relationship, I have a feeling that this um, like like getting a strong foundation of yourself and what you can do as a mover and an artist, and how you want to work in relationship to other people and guest teachers and choreographers and stuff like that. Like creating that ground that you know what works for you, is something that is much more resilient to a competitive environment than being in a competitive environment. It's like the idea of that you have to become resilient through competing with everybody, I think is a quite conservative idea. And I really experience how we as a collective and a group become quite resilient to respond to these like things out when we are outside of school, when we experience and when we also talk about our histories and stuff like that, where we come from and stuff like that. It becomes quite clear this like, because the dance field is a field, can be a field of competition, and that's something that you also need to be realistic and honest about. But and that I feel like this school also is. But I feel like that's where we then learn how to navigate a competitive environment, so that we can also change it. Yeah.
But you do go to auditions. You do have these experiences where you know it's not everyone's going to get in. It's not everyone that's going to get the internship or the job, because it is so much about what someone is looking for. So that is also part of the nature of our field. It's not like it's all very easygoing and whatever goes. There is something at stake, but how can you, as Gustav said, like ground yourself, regulate yourself, bring your best self into these stressful situations in the future?
Yeah, also to say that it's also this, it's a lot about like how do you handle the reject, like the no as well, because yes, there will be no's, and then it is so the practice there, because that it will be, instead of practicing it being competitive. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Are there any other questions or things? Yes, Vilo?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
I'm not sure if I can explain this well, but I know that I live in Hungary, and in one of the universities here, the students do a lot of group projects, but like it's not in their schedule. So I don't know, for example, I don't know, for 1 week they decide that they will stay longer and do maybe like an open score improvisation or things like that. And I'm interested if these things are also available or like an option at Holstebro.
Thank you for the question. Gustav, Nikki, would you like to answer?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an option. Like as Tiziana said, this after 5:30, the studios are available for us. And so, yeah, if you feel like organizing something with your peers, then it is possible. And it's also possible to reach out to other theaters here in Holstebro and maybe present something.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think your year did like a informal showing. one.
Yeah, and we were also there at the open sharing that
Oh,
evening.
you mean I
Yeah.
thought like another one.
We've had this like once a year or like an open sharing where it's like student initiated a sharing where you can bring whatever you want, and there has been some solos, a duet, group showing, and that has been like also opened for. No, the first one was closed. That was like only for like also the music conservatory and us. And then the second one was in relationship to this culture night here in Holstebro. So we opened up for public. That was really nice. But it's also
Also
this like
sorry, you participated in Pride and Bew Festival of your own
exactly
initiatives.
there is Pride we have been a part of every year. There's something called Holstebro Byfest, like city festival, town festival, where we perform something, and they're very open for also next year and next year again, I guess. And I've been a part of a performance in the town hall with cardboard. I've been part of a workshop about breathing and getting recorded at the art museum. Um, yeah, I've also been a part of this like shepherding, like a can you make a performance in shepherding outside of school? So truly, there is all the space and the time in the world that you have from when you wake up to when you go to sleep. Um,
And also during the weekends, you can also come in the studio during the weekends and work on whatever you want. And during the weeks that we're off, like fall break and Christmas break.
hmm.
Hope that answers your question, Vilo. Also to say from my experience, the city is very curious and very keen and wanting to bridge and connect and have the students be a part of artistic gatherings and bringing contributions. I really get that sense. And then, of course, it's up to the students if they want to participate in that.
Yeah, Tina's really good at sending like the passing on, like because lots of people reach out to the school, and then the things that she thinks that the students can be involved in, she passes on to us, and then we gather at the class meeting on Thursday and talk about it. And some usually people are keen.
Thank you. Are there any more questions or reflections? We have 6 minutes left. No more questions? No?
If you happen to be in Holstebro, the 6th and 7th of December, we have a showing of our bachelor projects. So now you're formally invited. If you so happen to be around.
Thank you for all the answers. Appreciate it. You're welcome. And as Gustav and Nikki said, you are welcome to write if you have any questions to Tina or myself as well. I'm just putting you in there, Tina, but you are on the application for if you have any questions. Yeah, it was such a pleasure to have this time together and talk about program, the education. No, Vilo's writing. Thank you. So thank you for joining. And thank you so much, Tina, for setting this up and joining, and to you, Gustav and Nikki. Yes, so nice. Okay, so we say bye-bye. Thank you.